The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tongues, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Oh, I'm going to be late on this. Sorry, I was sharing on Facebook. This is important. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 159 of the Blues/Sabres Fan Forum podcast. I am your host, Jacob Steeb. Sorry, this is a bit the Sabres thing thrown in there. My routine is off. I should probably tell you about our sponsors, Scooters Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. Before I even get to Dakota, because he's in a weird color right now, let's talk to our special guest for this week, which is Tim. How are you, Tim?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I appreciate you so much for joining. You are our official first ever Buffalo Sabres fan that has joined the Blues/Sabres Fan Forum podcast. Nice. Thank you so much for coming on. Do you guys have scooters on the East Coast there?
Like the electric scooters that buzz around? Oh, Scooters Coffee.
Scooters Coffee. Okay. Yeah. It's they're trying to pretty much take over Starbucks in the Midwest. Here is essentially, it's like if there's a Starbucks on every corner, there's a Scooters a couple corners down. So that's
nice competition, right? Capitalism.
Right. Yes, sir. All right, and then Dakota is here wearing weird colors. How are you, Dakota?
It's not weird colors. I mean, here we're gonna hop on bandwagons. I'm the first guy to say I'm gonna hop on anybody I can, right? So we got Vegas in the back, Dallas on the back today. It's going to be it was a bad first game, and like I said before the podcast started, if game 2 is any inkling to what game 1 was, I'm going to be drinking a lot more tonight. But hey, we're talking about the Sabres, not talking about Dallas tonight. What a hell of a start to the playoffs we got going on for the Sabres, though.
Yeah, we will get into a little bit of a review of the playoffs so far, but we're going to spend a majority of our time talking about the Buffalo Sabres. Tim, why don't you go ahead and just jump in? Give me like your fandom as far as a Buffalo Sabres fan, and then just what the heartbreak has been year after year, and then just what this year means to you and maybe just the Buffalo fans in general.
Oh, wow. Good question. So the Dallas fandom does kind of like, it's like seeing a glare on my screen, like this light on my head, just because I still have memories of 1999 and the whole no goal, foot in the crease moment, because I'm definitely old enough to have been definitely awake until about, what was it? Probably 1:30 in the morning, crying when that counted, as my mom wouldn't let me go to the game because it was too late on a school night. But so my Sabres fan goes deep. The first phrase my parents say they remember me saying was, "Want to watch hockey Sabres?" So I've just been, since to us Buffalo fans, the La Fontaine days. I've been a really big Sabres fan. I mean, I'm a Bills fan too, but hockey is just, it's such an incredible sport that I can't not put that first. And just my first memories of, skating out, trying to pretend to be LaFontaine, and then eventually trying to be guys like Miro Shatan, which is who I'm wearing right now. If you can't see, there we go. for the 99 playoff push with guys like Rob Ray and Dominic Hasek, of course, just destroying everyone, including everyone that wanted to play the Czech Republic in the Olympics in 98. And then surviving through the drought, which for 6 years of it, I was down in Maryland. So it was kind of fun to, speaking of hopping on bandwagons, to try and enjoy the Caps run with Ovechkin. And I got to say, just throwing it out there, part of this turnaround would definitely, I'd be bereft of my own being a good neighbor if I didn't thank you guys for sending the great Tage Thompson our way. Thank you guys so much.
We will definitely dig into that trade at some point here, maybe after this. But how has like this now, just this season, Ben? If you could just recap the season as a whole for right now.
Oh, it's been incredible. It's turned everything around. I mean, we've gotten my son is 10 and he's very spoiled because he's been used to the Bills just being this perennial push to the playoffs, but of course not quite getting there because it is Buffalo after all. But like just being perennially good. Whereas I remember the 17-year Bills playoff drought, but this isn't that kind of podcast.
Well, it's funny. It's Kelsey. Well, a friend of the show, Kelsey, says from a Jets fan, "Fuck the Bills."
When was the last time the Jets were in the playoffs?
Yeah, she knows that.
I know they have one more win than us in the Super Bowl, right? But that was back way before I was born. So,
right.
But that being said, just it's turned everything around for us, and just the fact that it's turned on a dime, and I have no anything against the Blues whatsoever, even without the Tage Thompson thing. Like the fact that you guys did something quite similar on your cup run where you guys were at the bottom of the league. You got a certain number 90, I believe was Ryan O'Reilly's number there.
That guy was important.
Yeah, Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Ryan O'Reilly, that led you guys to a cup. So now if this is the karma returning the favor and letting Tage Thompson lead us to some victory, that'd be great. But no, it's been incredible. And then, I know we'll dive into last night's game, I'm sure, but just get us into the playoffs after being in such the doldrums of the league, the joke. We were always the joke of the NHL. For the past 14 years, tanking to try and get McDavid, getting Eichel, that trade or that, draft not going how we hoped. And then just because he had to it was such a fiasco. And then, people chanting to fire the coach, fire the GM, everything, to now being this team on a warpath, quite literally. And it's been incredible to watch.
Let's go ahead and kind of talk about the Blues and Sabres connection here. We've brought it up a couple times now with the Ryan O'Reilly trade and the Tage Thompson trade. We actually have this discussion a lot with the fact that Ryan O'Reilly isn't on our team anymore, but Tage Thompson is dominating for you guys. And we kind of always have the discussion of who won the trade. We have the conversation of, we probably don't win the cup without Ryan O'Reilly. Like Conn Smythe winner, won the Selke that year as well. So it's like just really good play. But Tage Thompson's I think he scored 40 goals at one point. So Blues haven't had that. And even Tarasenko didn't even get 40 goals. So if you had to go with it, who do you think won that trade, or are you still on a wait and see?
I would have to say wait and see, because I would take a cup over anything. And there was a survey that came out recently. Like, there were 6 options on social media. It said, like, what would you rather have? An MLB team in Buffalo, an NBA team in Buffalo, or a Bills Super Bowl win, or a Sabres Cup run, or Marv Levy coaching Josh Allen. I would take a Sabres Cup win hands down. So I'll take a wait and see for now.
Wait and see if Tage Thompson can deliver that cup for you, whether it's this year or, the future's bright. This is just year 1 of hopefully a new streak for you guys. It's not going to be 14 or 15 years? What's the math?
I believe this year would have been the 15th year if we missed. Okay. So they're saying 15, but I'm not quite sure exactly the math, but That's why I teach social studies.
All right.
I'm kind of curious, what was your guys' initial thoughts on the Ryan O'Reilly trade? I know this is kind of going way back, but 6 years ago, what was your thoughts? Like, did you guys know you were getting a generational talent in Tage Thompson and forking over what would be our, key to winning the Stanley Cup in 2019? Did you guys know in that moment what you had? Or were you guys like, oh, cool, let's get fucked one more time?
It was kind of that. Ryan O'Reilly left on kind of a sour note for a lot of people because there's that infamous quote from the locker room where he said playing for Buffalo lost him his love of the game. Or something that I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote, but something to that level. And like at the time as a fan, I remember being enraged because like, how could you say that? Like, but then like being a logical person, I went, oh, I kind of get it. This team's trash and has been trash and having another down year and being told, oh, look for the draft. It's like, do we really want to keep doing this and playing this game? We've watched this movie before. So at the time, I want to say I remember being frustrated. Like, okay, we could have used him. You couldn't have convinced him to stay. Like, imagine a 1-2 punch or 1-2-3 punch, having Reinhart, Eichel, and O'Reilly on the same team, really getting going. Like, we couldn't have made that. I have a hard time picturing how we could not make that work.
Yeah, I forget how stacked you guys actually were.
Yeah, Reinhardt, a 2-time Cup winner, Eichel, a Cup winner now. So it's like,
Zach Bogosian was on that team. Brandon Montour was on that team.
In order to get a cup, you just have to leave Buffalo once, and then you're fine, right? That's the curse of Buffalo. But no, like I really do love the fact that that Tage Thompson went to Buffalo. I think he fits that system really well, and they were able to build around him. Like now you have an Owen Power, and now you have a Bowen Byram. Rasmus Dahlin is just an absolute unit. We use the word bat. You said wagon. That guy's that guy's a wagon for sure. You can hop on that any day of the week. But no, like I just think that Buffalo's time has now come. I won't, like I said, I won't say a bad thing about Buffalo. They've paid their dues. They've been the laughing stock. I'm not going to say laughing stock in a bad way, but it's just like, how do you build a team and consistently not show up in like the bigger moments? And now they have that time. Like I was so excited watching last night's game. The city was just going absolutely bananas. And for every right. I mean, you're playing a team in Boston. Us people in St. Louis are not a big fan of the Boston guys. So you're completely on our side game one. So
yeah, that's one of the things when you watch these playoff matchups, you try and find the villain team. And for us, it's never hard when it's Boston. And now that we're playing them and the playoff history with these two teams goes way back. So, I mean, back to the Mayday days when I was a little tiny youngin'. But it's just one of those things where, I don't know, are you guys familiar with the Mayday call?
I don't think so.
Oh, so we had our play-by-play commentator, Rick Jenneret, rest in peace. He was legendary, and he's the one that came up with the La 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 Fontaine chant back in the day. But there's a call he made. Sabres were playing Boston. It was early 90s. I want to say 93 or 94. There's some Sabres fan listening that's screaming it at their screen right now. And Brad May, who was kind of more of a bruiser, not really like a perennial goal scoring talent or phenom by any stretch. And he just broke through the Boston zone and put the puck past the goalie. And it was this insane play, falling down, like everything, crazy move. And I just remember everyone kind of like last night, just going absolutely nuts. Now it was before the days of a party in the plaza last night it was at Canal Side, which is an area right next to the arena. That's where I was.
All right. That was going to be kind of my next question, is just leading into the game from last night. What was your viewing experience like? And I guess 2 very quick questions. How early did you get there? And how much alcohol did you drink?
Now I wish I had one of those beer Sabres. Those were hard to come by.
Those, yeah.
I know they're awesome, but now they're selling for about $150 on Marketplace. So no, don't have that. So I could not swing tickets. That was quite over my price range to be in the arena. But I told one of the things that's kind of neat about this, like now my son getting to witness all this, is that he's never seen the playoffs in his lifetime. Right? He's 10. So he's never known a good team. I remember his first Sabres game, leaving on the way home going, why didn't my guy Jack score? And I went, because the Sabres suck, buddy. But now getting to watch this, I told him, like, okay, if they have that stuff downtown, I'm sure they will. We will go. So that kind of leads into my answer to your drinking question.
Gotcha.
I had one beer.
Yep.
I
That's
had to
good
have at least one.
responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
had. The problem is that it's obviously it was a Sunday night. I thought it was going to be Saturday, so I was like, okay, we'll have a couple beers downtown. He'll have a couple root beers. We'll go down. We'll hang out in the plaza, party it up, wake up whenever we want to. Then on Sunday morning, no problem. When they said it was Sunday night, it's like you couldn't have made it the 2:00 game. You got to make it the 7:30 start because he's a fourth grader. So I was like, okay, I got to get him into bed. So we got down there at, I want to say it was around 4:45, and we were at the party in the plaza where everyone was going bonkers. Supposedly there's a clip of us on ESPN. I haven't seen it. Just doing pictures and everything else out there. And then we walked our way to Canal Side where the big screens were all lit up, and the big party with everyone knocking over the gate and everything. Now, unfortunately for us, I told him, I'm like, buddy, no matter what, it's going to be like close to 10 at the end of the second. We got to go home. And which broke my heart because I wanted I'm like in my head, like, can I afford the half day tomorrow? Can I because there's no way if we had to get through that crowd, was I going to leave anytime before 11? We were going to be going nuts.
Yep.
I wanted to get my kid crowd surfing if that was the case. But we drove home. The Bruins scored while we were on the way home. And I'm like, oh, great. It's 2-0. Like, this is going to be. So Landon, being who he is, asked me when we got home, he goes, are you going to watch? And I said, dude, this is the Sabres in the playoffs. I stick it to the end. And he went upstairs to get ready for bed. And, a few minutes later, he hears me going absolutely, bonkers downstairs. I don't know how I didn't wake my wife up, but I just went insane. And he comes running down in his underwear. He'll be embarrassing me saying this, but just going, they got it. I'm like, it's your guy. It was Tage Thompson. It's 2-1. And then, of course, every goal after that was just me going progressively more insane. So it was a weird night for travel and getting back to watch, but I got to see us score, which was great.
Yeah, to think 4 unanswered goals right there. I mean, like, what a turnaround too. Like, for me, I think Buffalo controlled most of the game, and I'm sure we're going to hop into it right now. So I apologize, Jacob, if you were going to pivot somewhere. I think Buffalo. I think Buffalo just took Boston to work. I think they came out great. If it wasn't for Jeremy Swayman, Boston would have let in at least half a dozen. But he controlled most of the game for Buffalo. If he wasn't standing on his head, the game would have been out of reach by the end of the first period, I believe. Just chance after chance after chance after chance. I don't know what the final score or the total shots on goal were for Buffalo, but they could have had a million. And they played a really good game. I thought the neutral zone, they controlled most of it. They played a lot of ozone time. I thought the chippiness in the calls from the refs were a little questionable. Some they should have just let go. Some they just should have just called, but they didn't. So I was curious on your perspective of kind of what the fans were thinking about some of those questionable calls. But, man, Buffalo played a really nice game. And if it wasn't for Jeremy Swayman, that game would have been out of reach quick.
I completely agree. We had 38 shots on goal total, so it was absolutely absurd. So Swayman, kudos to him. I mean, I total respect to anyone who can play the game at this level. So he played an insane game. I believe firmly that it was his defenseman that kind of cracked and let him down. But as far as the fans, we were going complete. I don't know if you remember that goal that wasn't a goal that like slid past Swayman there that they blew a quick whistle on. At Canal Side where I was watching it, they didn't on my side because there were the two screens. The screen to the right didn't have the speakers working, so I didn't hear a whistle. So fans were going nuts to the point where fans were throwing beer cans at the TV screen, which led to security like waving us down, and including numerous fans, including myself. Like, "Whoa, yo, don't do that! Like, beer on an HD TV isn't going to be very good." I'm sure Terry's trying to keep it. Or Terry Pagula, the owner, is trying to pinch his pennies to make sure he doesn't spend too much here. But yeah, so we were going absolutely nuts. I have to agree with you, Dakota. The calls on both sides, though, to a degree, were really like, this is the playoffs. You're going to call that holding, or you're going to call that slash? Like, okay. And then, of course, our Sabres power play is the one thing we got to fix. I think we're 0 for 26 this month.
Yeah, that was rough. And that kind of leads me into the next question I was going to ask you is, with going through two periods, all the power plays, just the poor power play leading into the postseason, and then the power play, not even struggling. Like, struggling is being nice. Like, it was like terrible. It was almost non-existent. I think somebody in the group at one point posted, "Can we just decline the penalties?" Which is something the Blues fans say a lot too. We've been asking that for a while. But what's going through your mind as you get it, into that second intermission, going into the third period, and you're like, we haven't scored and we've been dominating at 5-on-5, but our power play looks terrible.
Oh, misery. It's just but it expected misery though, because if you look through our regular season record, like we still somehow managed to pull off wins, even when we weren't scoring on the power play, which is the only thing that gave me hope, and that's why I could confidently tell my son when we got home, I'm going to keep watching because there's still time on the clock and we're only down by 2. But just, I mean, there was people yelling, it may have been me, fire Seth Appert, who's been our power play coach, because it's just, and which I looked at, everyone kind of looked at me, I'm like, oh, too soon? I'm like, it's been all season. Like, it's not like there are various patches in the season where suddenly the power play would flare up. But in fact, one game I went to, I can't remember who we were playing, but there were 4 times where they got it to Tage to rip the Ovi shot from that lovely, Ovechkin's office there. And we were playing the Caps. That's why I was like, why does it stand out that we were talking about Ovi so much? Oh yeah. And he missed like 2 of the 4, and then the other 2 were stopped. And everyone's like, oh, this is crazy. This is so much fun. He hasn't scored. Why is this fun? I mean, now, obviously, looking back, last night, he was the guy that got our team going. I have not a negative thing to say about Tage Thompson, but it was just one of those moments where I was like, we need to do something else. It's not working. So, yeah, it was misery. That the fans around me were all just hanging our heads. We kept going, though. The chants did not stop. The Let's Go Buffaloes, the AAAs from the Bills fandom that keeps the crowd going, Sabres in the world. Like, we were all doing all the chants. It's just, obviously, they weren't hearing us. It was as effective as me yelling at my TV at home, but
Yeah, you could definitely hear the nervousness of KeyBank Center, right? So is it Center?
Yeah.
So just through my TV speakers, because to start that game, it is just loud. And anytime a Buffalo player touches a Bruins player, the place erupts. Any shot on net, the place erupts. And then it just slowly got quieter and quieter. Like, it just kind of eventually turned into boos. Eventually kind of turned into we don't really like this team, it almost felt like. And then, yeah, Tage Thompson gets that goal, which was dirty, like from behind the net and putting it right past Swayman's skate, was pretty dirty. And then, then the place gets loud, and then it's a whole new hockey game.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, I wish I had been downtown still to be around the fans. Although I'm sure you guys probably saw the video, the outside fans knocking down the fence. I had to laugh because in true Buffalo fashion, you might have seen they picked the fence back up and put themselves back behind it.
At one point, I think the ESPN or whoever was hosting it was like, after you guys had scored a couple, they were like, yeah, the railing, it's optional now. Like, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the fans are fully aware that this thing can go down anytime we feel like. But yeah, it was fun. And just going to work today and talking to everybody, and just the same general reaction of like, okay, we could actually do this. And they were never out of it, and that type of talk, which, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say that now, right? It was an incredible turnaround, so much fun. Just watching the response from just on my phone afterwards, just everyone going nuts, to the chants going out into the streets, people online saying the city's going to burn. I'm like, okay, it was game 1, guys. It was
just
game
one game. Like, slow down.
Yeah, we got, 15 more to get? Like, let's take it easy.
So, I wanted to bring up a little bit of the toxicity in the Sabres Mafia group. Going, towards the end of the second and going into the third, there were people posting like, just hang it up. Like, it's over. We suck. It's over. And I'm not going to lie. I thought about this of like screenshotting a couple of those and then being like, oh, it's going to pay off. I didn't, because I'm not an evil person, but there are some evil people in the group, because they like screenshotted those, and then once the Sabres win, they post it and they're like, where did you go, Doug? Or like whatever.
I saw those too.
Yeah, I was like, damn. It's like, one, kind of fuck the guy for posting like it's over in the second period. Like it's first off, it's a 7-game series. Like you lost 2 periods. It's okay. But yeah, then the people to screenshot it and repost it. It's like, oh, well, like you guys are kind of mean to each other, but I'm here for it.
It's nothing if not entertaining. Yeah,
Sure.
It goes back. I think, unfortunately, it's the scars of the past, right? Like we've just never been there, or we've been there, we've just never won it, and just every year has been either a letdown or some stupid call. And that it goes further than just Sabres fandom. It's the Bills too. Like there's always a boogeyman, right? For years, didn't matter who we had at quarterback. It was Tom Brady on the other side, or with the Sabres, it was always there's somebody out. The Boston was bigger out. They're bigger, better, stronger. Like they said this time. However, we crushed them in hits last night. But
which was expected. That was just coaching trying to play the media, and your coach Lindy Ruff was like, no, he's stupid. Like he said that in the most politically correct way, but that's kind of how he said it.
Yeah. Well, you gave us or bulletin board material,
right?
Yeah. Every player heard that and was like, oh, that's cute. Let's watch this game. But yeah, it's so much fun. I'm just so thrilled for this team and for the city to finally have something on the hockey level to cheer for, right? Because like I said, I'm more of a hockey fan than a football fan, so it's been a blast.
All right, I'm gonna pull up a couple comments. We do have our Blues Fan Forum favorite Sam, who has joined the Sabres bandwagon with us. She's actually out by you guys in Springfield, Massachusetts, where the Blues AHL team is. So not too far from you guys. And she did mention that Springfield has clinched for the playoffs. So we have our AHL team that will be in the playoffs at least. Our buddy Justin Scott is watching. He's been on the podcast a couple times. Thanks for being here, Justin. And then my brother is on. Did you see this, Dakota? My brother is making fun of Dakota. He says, co-host on the Blues Fan Forum podcast wearing a Dallas Stars jersey and a Vegas Golden Knights jersey hanging up. Pick a struggle, man.
We got to have options, damn it. All right, the Blues, then Dallas. If Dallas croaks, then we got a backup plan, all right? We got to make sure we're covered on all assets of it.
We got lots of them covered.
Now, can I ask a question for either of you guys? The Blues dominant rival, I guess, is that still Chicago was for a while? Who is it now?
Chicago's always the team we just like to beat just because it's Chicago. But they've been so bad recently that I would say the rival now, unfortunately, Colorado would be my bet. But they're just so good and we're just not as good. But that would have been... I don't even know if I'd put Winnipeg there because we hate Colorado, one, because the owner of the Colorado Avalanche is Stan Kroenke, and he is the owner of the LA Rams, which used to be the St. Louis Rams. So he took us out of there. Plus, we hate Nazem Kadri because of what he did in the 2022 playoffs. So there's a lot more hate towards Colorado, but it's always fun beating the Blackhawks.
Interesting. I'll not mention that Colorado is definitely not my West Coast team.
Well, I'm in the process of moving to Colorado Springs this summer, so I'm messing it up. Yeah.
Well, I was, a child of the '90s, so watching guys like Forsberg and Sakic.
I've had so many people, like some of the kids that I teach, they're like, so you're a Blues fan. Are you going to change teams? And I'm like, no. It's like, I can't tell them why. But on the podcast, we like to say, fuck Stan Kroenke is how we put it.
I get that.
Yeah.
Totally get that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, the similar thing when like I said, I moved to Maryland near DC and there's plenty of Caps fans in the class that I taught. And they said, you seem to like the Caps. Like, are you going to same thing. Are you going to change sides? And if the Sabres are out of the playoffs, which they will be, I will most certainly root for the Caps. But if it's ever Sabres versus Caps, I will be down there and I will wear my Sabres jersey, of course.
Oh, yeah. I am already planning as soon as the schedule comes out next year. I'm going to find out when St. Louis is in town. I'm going to go to the game. And there's a 90% chance that the Blues lose to Colorado and people are going to make fun of me. I'm mentally prepared for that already.
Yeah. Now, here's the question though. When you go, are you going to be that fan that drives people crazy or are you going to quietly cheer for your team?
No, I despite having my own podcast and talking on this once a week in public, I'm not like loud and obnoxious. So it'll be when the Blues score, I'll stand up and I'll high five whoever I'm with. Hopefully I find some Blues fans to kind of meet up with. Otherwise I'll just high five myself maybe. But besides that, I'm not going to like turn around and be like, you suck, because especially because if we go up 3-0, I've seen the Blues blow that lead. So I can't talk too much because Colorado can easily put up 5 in a period.
Yeah, with that lineup, they better, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So.
Yeah, my son's got into playing Chell now. He's got 25 and he's been playing Colorado. So now, last night we're waiting for the game to start and he's asking me to quiz him on Avalanche players. And I got to 3 numbers and I got to pass Makar and McKinnon and he couldn't do it. I'm like, okay, come on, buddy.
Too bad he's asleep. We might have to have him. We do a segment on here called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah.
Where I give you 3 players. I give you the left winger, the center, and the right winger. And you got to try to come up with the team. And then you got to come up with the line. That's why it's Whose Line Is It Anyway? Kind of like the game.
I like that. So
I didn't have one prepared for today, but I could easily look one up if we wanted to have some fun later.
Whatever.
Before we do that, because we're about halfway through, we usually go about an hour. I'm going to tell people about where they can buy things. So unfortunately, this one won't help you guys, but Scooter's Coffee we like some Scooter's Coffee around here. Specifically, if you guys can go to the Scooters or the drive-thrus in Highland on Highway 143 and Troxler Way, or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville. If you cannot do those, go ahead and check out the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast Scooter's Coffee. The next 2 involve shipping, so you could order some of these if you wanted. Hughes Custom Design is a family-owned and run small business that's operated out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request and can complete almost any request from custom jobs. So they always have Blue Notes or Cardinals logos ready to go, Battlehawks as well. But if you wanted a Buffalo Sabres logo, you guys could do that too. And Dakota, you don't have yours visible in the background, do you?
I got the Chiefs one right there.
The Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs, then there's the Cardinals one, yeah.
Yeah. So wood carved, hand painted. They're pretty sweet. And then our other one is Imprint Labs. So they specialize in bringing your brand to life with custom laser engraved Richardson hats and vibrant custom sublimated metal prints. Whether you want to make a statement with high quality headwear or showcase your designs on eye-catching metal art, they deliver precision, durability, and style every time. Elevate your brand with Imprint Labs, where your vision meets our craftsmanship. Or the non-official slogan that I've used for them is, if you have shit and you want it on shit, they're your people. So if you have a logo and you want it, they can put it on a hat, on a shirt, on a metal sign, on a koozie cup, on a whatever it is. So Imprint Labs and Hughes Custom Design, both of them you guys can find on Facebook. Now, where do we want to go with this? Let's recap kind of just the score so far for the NHL playoffs, starting with game 1 Saturday. And what a start. Nope. This was almost expected, but Hurricanes versus Senators, 3 seconds in, Brady Tkachuk drops the gloves. Did you guys happen to catch just that opening to the Stanley Cup playoffs for 2026?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a start. I mean, my wife looked at me and goes, do they usually fight this often in the playoffs? And I said, he's a Tkachuk. He's practically losing a couple brain cells on the face-off. I wouldn't expect anything from it.
Yeah, just Brady Tkachuk. That would be the only one who would do that. And then Brady does it, and then Matthew's like, well, I want to do that. So, yeah, hell of a start to the playoffs. Unfortunately, Senators lose. Hurricanes win 2-0. Then there was an afternoon game where the Stars played the Wild. And should we just skip that one?
This fucking guy.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, what part did you enjoy? Did you enjoy the ass kicking that Dallas received? I didn't.
Yes.
I thought Jake Ottinger, I think in his head he's got Pete DeBoer. He's got Pete DeBoer on one side and he's got Pete DeBoer the other side. He's like, you're never gonna be good enough. And everybody kept making jokes like, "Oh, like is now the time to pull in him?" I was like, "Chill out, Pete DeBoer. Like, let him come back." I just think Dallas came out flat-footed. I think they're going to come out better tonight. Game time start should be in about any minute now, but I don't think Minnesota does what they did in game 1 to them in game 2. I believe that Dallas will be shut down, or they will shut down many. The score should be around 4-1. Good guys. So you guys can shut the hell up with the man, it was fun to watch kind of shit. Dallas is the better team. Minnesota, they've got, old Vladdy who couldn't put the puck in the net to save his life.
He's got more goals this year than Jordan Kyrou,
if Minnesota wins, it's because Quinn Hughes puts that team on his back. If Minnesota advances, it's because Quinn Hughes does it. Because, he's a Hughes brother and they have magic in their hands. So I'm excited to see this thing go 7 games. He's just overpaid as hell.
That shot, though, that's why you pay him. Do you know how many goals Tarasenko had?
This year?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. How many goals he had this
25?
year? 23.
Yeah, I'm guessing 25.
Okay. Do you know how many goals Dylan
I'm not
Holloway
shitting
had
on him.
for the Blues?
19.
22. You know how many Jenny Snuggerud had? 21.
21.
Tarasenko would be the second best scorer on the team behind Robert Thomas.
I don't know what the flex is. I know he's good.
I want him back.
I was going to bring him up, but I wasn't sure how much of a sore subject he was.
Come on. I want Tage Thompson back. For Christ's sake, I talk about it every podcast. Like, we haven't had that guy for years, and it's just a sour subject. Like, I am definitely hurt. I appreciate the Stanley Cup banner in the background because now I get to look at it every time. Something Buffalo couldn't stand to see. But now it's you guys' time. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that late jab. I know you were just dying to.
I'm still trying to pull the knife out, man. No, I do. I'm a fan of Thomas. I gotta say, he's a promising player there. I had him on my fantasy hockey team this year and last year. So there's been some talk in Buffalo about him.
Well, then we can kind of deviate from the rest of the schedule so far and kind of move to that, because that was another talking point for us to get to. Is we've been talking about the Ryan O'Reilly and Tage Thompson trade, which was a blockbuster at the time. Blues and Sabres almost made a blockbuster this trade deadline, potentially sending Parayko and Robert Thomas, but apparently that kind of broke down. So then the deal was going to be Colton Parayko for, I believe it's Radim Murta, and your first round pick for this year. What were your thoughts when those rumors started to come out and it seemed like we were just waiting to see what Colton Parayko was going to decide?
Yeah, I was super excited. I love the idea of a GM that we have with Yarmo that's going to try and get us going. Although I say that, and our departed fired GM built this team pretty much, with the exception of a few players like Logan Stanley. But I was pretty fired up about it. I wanted us to make some moves. Murka is just an unknown quantity. He looks promising in the prospect challenges and things like that, or whatever he's been in, that I've been able to catch highlights of. But I was hopeful we get something done, and then it just didn't happen. There has been good trades between our two teams in the past that have been profitable for both teams. So I was kind of hoping something would have gotten done.
Yeah. Dakota, do you remember what your reaction? I don't, but do you remember what was your reaction when you saw the Parayko trade?
I believe it was fucking go. I was at that point, I think he had 1 goal, possibly. And I was ready for him to leave at some point. I think he had 2 goals all year. Maybe it was 3. I can't remember, but a defenseman in the NHL should not have lower than 5 goals a year. Just my 2 cents worth. But when I initially thought that Robert Thomas was going, I was crying silently at work. And then knowing that Parayko might be the only person going, I was a little bit more excited. But to no avail. He's still with the team. We shall see what this offseason leads for the Blues. But come on. We can also talk about the fact that Buffalo decided to go hunting with Colton Ellis. 4 fucking goaltenders. I mean, what the hell is going on? You
Yeah,
guys
we're a
just
little unfriendly
stacking the
because of
pads
that.
over here? What are we doing? Like, you didn't need them, but
No,
you're like, yeah, we'll take them. Like, just
you're as
beat us while we're
confused as
down.
you're as confused as me, Dakota. I sat there just in complete puzzlement when that move was made to grab Ellis. I mean, he looked good, and he's been. But there's a nickname going around called Colton Chaos because it just you never know what you're gonna get when he's in net, and sometimes he looks outstanding. Other times, like, whoa, where are you going? What are you doing? And then he gets back in net. You're like, okay, you're not Hasek. What are you doing? That guy had a slinky for a spine, and there was a Visa commercial to remind you about it. But so yeah, looking at the grabbing him, and then we still had Devin Levi in the wings, who was supposed to be the promised one. He had the whole. You might remember it was all over social media. He did the kneel down thing. It was supposed to be like Qui-Gon Jinn in episode 1 of Star Wars. Like everyone was loving that, and I was like, there are T-shirts made of that, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be our guy. And it didn't quite work out that next season. It's like, okay, who are we gonna pick up? How's this gonna shake out? And I was like, I don't know. And then they just kind of ran with it, and it didn't suck. So we're okay with it, I guess. And thank you, because I like Colton Ellis. I like him a lot. He's fun to watch. I just don't know. Looking down in the future, like, are we going to keep Alex Lyon? Is he going to be a backup? Are we going to have a 1A, 1B situation with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen? Or are we going to get Ellis in and maybe ship out Lyon? I don't know what the plan is. It's all up to Yarmo and Lindy.
I remember when that happened, I came on, we talked about it on the podcast, and Ellis had a pretty big jump on the depth chart last year for the Blues. So he started in the AHL, maybe even had some ECHL games, but eventually kind of took over the starting spot for Springfield and then played pretty well for them in the playoffs. So kind of took over the number 3 spot on the depth chart. And kind of turned into, okay, Binnington's on his way out. He's on the downhill. Hofer's on the uphill. And then we have Colton Ellis to come in and back up Hofer at some point. But besides Ellis, we don't really have anybody else. We have like Will Cranley, who I think projects to maybe be a backup, like at best. So Colton Ellis wasn't one of those guys that we're like, oh my God, he's going to be our savior, but he provided some safety, I guess, in case if Binnington got hurt or if Hofer got hurt, you still had that extra. So when Buffalo picked him up, I was looking and I'm like, well, they still have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, whatever that name is. And then, and then Alex Lyon. And so I'm like, well, they're not going to carry 3 goalies all year. So eventually they will send Colton Ellis down and he'll go through waivers again. And when he does, because you guys picked him up from us, we would have first dibs and we'll take him back. And then sure shit, that never happened. You guys did carry 3 goalies all year long. So
yeah, I mean, that was the constant talk on Buffalo radio. And if you look I'm sure if you look back on the Sabres Mafia Facebook page and scroll back, there's plenty of, are we really going to do this? Do we really need this? And then people going, it's kind of working. It hasn't worked for any other team in the past, really. And I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I don't want to lose Ellis necessarily. But I also feel like if I'm Devin Levi, I'm going, hey, WTF guys, what am I doing here?
is he still in your AHL?
Yes, he's still playing for Rochester. Yeah. Which I didn't know that your AHL team was way out in New England. There, ours is an hour up the road in Rochester.
Yeah, we've been everywhere. Like it used to be nice back in the day. We were in Peoria, which is like maybe 2 hours kind of north of St. Louis. So that was kind of nice. And then shoot, I think we've had the Chicago Wolves for a little bit. We had the San Antonio Rampage for a little bit. There was one year where we didn't even have a team. So we like shared some of our players with 2 other AHL teams that had affiliations with other NHL teams, and they just let us loan their players to them. So we've been a little bit of everywhere. I think we've been with Springfield for maybe 4 or 5 seasons now. So there's been some consistency there as far as our players being there with our coaching staff kind of thing. But for a while our AHL team was everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
we haven't had much jumble. I think our ECHL affiliate is the Jacksonville team, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a bit of a haul, but I know it's always very convenient when we need a guy and they can just run down the 90 is the major throughway around us. I just hop down it and get here.
Mm-hmm. Our ECHL team is the Florida Everblades. So I'm not sure where in Florida they are, but somewhere down there.
Somewhere in the swamp, right?
Yeah, somewhere. So I don't even know how they have a hockey team in that area, but they somehow do. And I think we just picked them up like 2 years ago. They just became I don't even know who it was before that.
All right. Interesting.
So,
yeah, I'm familiar with some of the area. I've actually driven through St. Louis once. It was the middle of the night. I was on a road trip across the country, so I'm more familiar with Illinois. My buddies and I just took a trip to see the Sabres play in Chicago, that second to last game of the season. So I'm more familiar with that area. I've been to Chicago a couple times. We're on a mission to try and get a different away arena every year. So it was neat to be in Chicago to see that arena. Fans were friendly. And just like with St. Louis, like I have no gripe with any Chicago fan or Blues fan. So it's kind of nice to be around fans that don't hate you.
Right. No, even I've gone up to a Blues Blackhawks game at, I think it's the United Center. And it was the one thing I really liked about the United Center, because it was Blues Blackhawks in Chicago. So tickets were stupid expensive. So we bought like the cheapest ones we could, which was like 2 rows from the top. But they have bars on the top. So you didn't have to like walk down the stairs and go into like the walkway there. You could just turn two rows behind you and there's a bar right there. And I'm like, this is sweet. Like I'll buy these nosebleeds all the time. It's well worth it.
It's handy to get drinks wherever you can.
You're right. So, all right. Let's kind of cover some more playoffs here. So yesterday we had 4 games, and I got to tell you, because I got to pump my tires a little bit, I went ahead and looked at the 4 games, and I was like, all right, Kings Avalanche, let's go Avalanche. Canadians Lightning. Lightning probably should win, but let's go Canadians. Sabres Bruins, obviously I'm picking the Sabres. And then Golden Knights Mammoth, I'm going to take the Knights. So I went ahead and threw $20 on a parlay for all of those and nailed it. So I'm kind of killing it right now. Do you guys have betting in New York?
Yes. As of a few years ago, we can get the online betting on the apps and all that.
Okay. All right. So Illinois, which is where I'm at, has had it for a couple years as well. Missouri just got it. Dakota, was it to start 2026?
Yeah, we got it in December of 2025.
Okay. So they just got it. But yeah, hit that parlay. Hit a bet in the Philly game already where I needed Porter Martone and Owen Tippett to at least get a point. Both of them have done that. And I think what's the final? Is there a final here? Flyers are up 3-0. So that's winning well. Hurricanes are tied 2-2 right now with the Senators in the 3rd period. I need the Hurricanes to win that one. And oh shit, Dakota. Wild and Stars are minute and 30 seconds in, and no one has scored yet. So that's good news.
Very good news.
So Tim, have you been able to catch any other games besides the Buffalo game?
Yeah, as much as I can. I wanted to watch more of that Colorado game yesterday just to see how intense it would be. I didn't think it would be that low scoring, to be honest. I kind of figured the Avs would just kind of take off. I want to watch the Lightning Canadiens game. I struggle because I have years of Montreal hate brewing through me. But then recently, there's been this insane rivalry between Buffalo and the Lightning, that 8-7 game where there was God knows how many fights and was just so much freaking fun to watch. So that was nuts. So I kind of want the Lightning to lose, and rooting for the Canadians. I'm sure you're familiar with the experience. Like rooting for the other team, it still kind of stings, but it's there. I got to go against Vegas just because I don't know. I can't explain it. I shouldn't have anything against Eichel anymore. I know I shouldn't because he left, and I understand why he left. I really do. But he made those comments about the fans, and those kind of cut deep. Like, if you're going to leave, fine. If you're unhappy that we cheered against you when you came back, fine. But keep the comments to yourself. And he said them out loud. But Buffalo fans, we're the city of good neighbors, but we can be a little petty sometimes.
All right. You might hurt Dakota's feelings there. That's Dakota's third favorite team.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Mark Stone's fun to watch when he's, comes back for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you can't play in the regular season.
Hey, former legend of the St. Louis Blues, Ivan Barbashev, is pretty much a fan favorite here in St. Louis. So that's why I really like watching Vegas when it comes to playoff time. Dude's an absolute unit.
Agreed.
You're also Dakota's fandom comes from one goalies, which is why like Marc-Andre Fleury with Vegas, and also what'd you spend? Were you down in Dallas for 8 weeks?
8 weeks. I went to 2 playoff games. I went versus the Colorado Avalanche for the Western Conference final. No, sorry, not Western Conference final. Yes, no, like semis, I believe that year. And I think in the Western Conference final, it was Edmonton and Dallas. And so that was an absolute trip. They just do so. I mean, the arena, American Airlines Center, is just different. They're just so loud, and it's Dallas, so they do everything bigger. The drinks are just. You were talking about the Sabre or whatever. They do they fill like a fucking 10-gallon bucket or a 10-gallon hat with like nachos and shit. I'm like, is this for the whole row or like what are we doing here? So yeah, it's pretty impressive down there.
We have a Tage Thompson sandwich that's quite large. I have never tried to partake because A, budgetary reasons, and B, I usually have to teach in the morning. So eating like that at 9:00 at night just doesn't seem advisable.
Not a great idea.
Sure.
No.
And then somehow functioning the next day. Yeah, that's just not gonna work.
I would end up being like Jack Black in School of Rock.
All right. Tim, we're gonna attempt. Dakota, I'm sure you have the Dallas game up, right? Is that what you're watching? Okay, it looks like
Yes.
the Wild are about to go on a power play. So, Tim, obviously, if you had to make a prediction, you were going to say that Buffalo sweeps the series 4-0. If that going to be, if I asked you to try to be realistic, I mean, you're still going to pick Buffalo to win. Do you think they can do it in 4, or are you expecting 5, 6, or 7?
Oh, my hopeful, love my team. This is amazing ride, or an amazing ride type brain is saying Sabres in 5, but I think realistically Sabres in 6. I think with Swayman playing like he has been, he looked great last night. I think he's going to give the Sabres trouble if they can't get their power play going the way they need to. I think that'll be frustrating, not only for fans, but obviously for the team too. And as much as Tage was a monster last night, I hope he can keep that going, but I know he's going to need some help. And there were other guys firing last night. Tuck looked great. I mean, he had 10 hits last night. So I think he had 10, and Samuelson was on fire last night. So if we can keep that going, it could be over in 4 if we can keep it going on the road. The TD Garden, Boston fans, I'm not a fan of those Boston fans. Pardon the terrible accent impression. I'm not John Krasinski, so
it's okay. They suck. So
yeah, right. But I think realistically Sabres in 6, but I could definitely hope for Sabres in 5.
I mean, like the power play is the only thing that I really have issues with Buffalo. So if they kind of tighten that up here in the series, kind of use this series to their advantage to try to really work on that, because I do think Boston's I wouldn't say a heavily penalized team, but they like to take their penalties. They're a lethal option going to the Eastern Conference Finals for sure. I just don't really see it being a huge. I mean, maybe Montreal. Like I think Montreal's kind of on a wagon themselves, but I just don't really see a huge someone that scares me in the East. So I'm really pulling for Buffalo. If they can kind of get their power play under wraps this series and just kind of use that and build upon that, they're going to be fucking scary.
I like the way you think.
Thank you.
I had to fact check this because you said Boston is not a heavily penalized team. And I'm like, you know what? Watching the game last night, I think they mentioned something about Boston being the most penalized team. And they are. They are the most penalized team in the NHL. They had 278 penalties that they had to defend, I guess, where Florida Panthers were number 2 at 273. For reference, the Blues had 222.
So use it to your advantage, Buffalo.
Yeah, right.
I know. Well, and their PK isn't even good. If you look at their season, I think they were 24th in the league, if I'm not mistaken, in PK. So if we can get anything going, but like you said, Dakota, if they can get that going, the wagon will keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know for sure they mentioned that Zadorov for Boston was the most penalized player in the league. So yeah, he doesn't know how to actually play hockey. So he's just a big guy on skates. That's all he is.
Yeah. That's what Buffalo Radio, there's a guy that talks on the morning show that he said, he's like, Zadorov, you can count on to just do the dumb thing that's going to make you go, oh, there you got 2 penalties there. So
good. You got to then take advantage of that.
I know.
Right?
It would be great if we could do that with a guy like Tage Thompson on the team. And although that, I mean, if you look at who they put out there for the power play, it's more like how are you not scoring? But, you know.
Do you think Buffalo's going to be outworked and outmatched when it comes to size? Well, I mean, is Boston really that big? I do kind of think that Buffalo's got some fucking giants on their team, but I mean, Tage Thompson's a giant in and of itself, but that dude's got silky mitts.
Yeah. Well, then we have Logan Stanley, 6'7". We got
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I have a 10-year-old and I'm a teacher. Like it's every day. I told the students to leave it in 2025 and they couldn't do it. So he's that big. Samuelson's a big guy. If Owen Power, which I saw last night, he started using his body a bit, which I was like, okay, I'm happy with that, because all season it's been that, okay, he's kind of soft. He's got to step it up. It's not the rookie year, even the sophomore year anymore. Let's get it going. We got plenty of big guys. So, yeah, like when Coach Sturm said that comment about them being bigger and better, I'm like, I'm sorry, Lucic is long gone. Marchand's in Florida, and he wasn't even big. He's just annoying. And who else do they have? Krejci and Bergeron, Chara. So like those guys are long gone. But I don't know what team you're talking about.
McAvoy.
Right. Like no, and I don't know that we'll overpower them every game. I'm sure, especially at home, they'll get that crowd behind them and they'll step it up. But I don't think we'll be outplayed in the physical front by any means. Especially with Beck the Bullet, Malenstein.
Let's put this, Dakota. I can give you either the amount of hits that Boston had yesterday or the amount of hits that Buffalo had yesterday. And then you got to guess the other one. Which one do you want?
Well, I mean, I think Tim already ruined game 1 for me. I think didn't Buffalo have 38 hits? No, that was shots on goal. Fuck,
that was shots.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So that actually that's okay. Buffalo had 38 shots on net. Or Boston had 38 hits. How many hits do you think Buffalo had?
My God. I'm going to go like 56.
Shit, that's actually pretty close. 53.
Wow.
Okay. Fuck.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. So that's according to NHL.com.
And we were known for a while for a team that didn't stand up for each other, and now that's one of the things that I think Lindy Ruff has really put together, and the GM really, and not just that. I think Rasmus Dahlin said it the best when they asked him how this team got its camaraderie together. He said, "Drink beers."
I love that.
Nice.
He said the team got together and drank beers. So cheers to that.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. It's working. All right. Tim, do you have anything else? We kind of covered all the topics, I think.
I'm just hoping. I don't want to see a Sabres Stars final. That's like I think that's last on my Christmas list this year is a Sabres versus Stars final again. Just keep that away.
I don't even know what team. I know Dakota.
I think that would be. It
probably would.
That's what I was hoping for. Damn it! I was like, fine, that would be cool.
It probably on the hockey sense of being able to watch good hockey, it'd be fun. But on the hauntings of '99,
If I had to
what's your-
pick a Western Conference team,
I don't want Colorado to win the West.
absolutely not. Yeah,
That's just something I can't see, and I don't want Edmonton to be back there. If I'm being honest,
I think an unrealistic goal would be the Mammoth. I think the Mammoth and Sabres would be kind of cool because it would just be like almost kind of like new age teams. Like I know Mammoth is new, and Buffalo's been around, but just young cores that, are not only going to make the finals now, but also would then probably make the finals in the future. Plus, it would probably be easier for Buffalo to win if they played the Mammoth. Besides that, I could care less for any other Western team. I really don't want Golden Knights to win again because I hate how successful they've been in the short amount of time that they've been alive.
Agreed.
I hate the Kings because I hated Dustin Brown and Jonathan Quick and Kopitar and those guys because they knocked us out of the playoffs plenty of times. Who else is in it?
The Ducks.
I could maybe go Ducks. I don't really hate the Ducks, so I don't think I have a reason to hate the Ducks. So I could go with the Ducks.
That would be the most surprising one if you ask me. If the Ducks make it somehow all that way, they're good. I just don't see it.
They also have to get past Edmonton, which I was looking at Edmonton's lines, like they posted like their lines for today, and I'm like, God, that team is awful. minus McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. Like, I don't even think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is really that great anymore. They got him playing on the third line. So it's like you literally are a couple wins away from winning Stanley Cups multiple years in a row, and you have 3 good players. 3 of the best players in the world, but like
there is that.
Yeah, that helps. But it's like, damn, you look at, freaking Kasperi Kapanen is on their second line playing with Draisaitl, and it's like, dude, he couldn't cut the Blues lineup.
That's why the rest of the NHL kind of like shits on Edmonton because it's like you put so much money into your top 3 forwards that you can't really win you can't build a franchise around your top 3 guys. I mean, you can, but you got to invest in like the youth of it, right? Like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, they're an absolute unit, but like you're gonna pay them to be that unit. Which means you're gonna lock up a lot of money to where you cannot spend on the rest of the guys. Where take for instance like the St. Louis Blues roster. Shit, we were probably like, as far as like the most expensive roster, no, but we had guys that we could split the. No fucking way. Let's fucking go.
No.
Damn it, you hate to see it.
Wyatt Johnson.
And then like you kind of look around the rest of the league and you're like, how has Edmonton done this to themselves? Was it now 4? Have they been to the Western Conference Finals 4 years in the last 5 years? 4 of the last 5?
Ask Corey Perry. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
He alone. If you're gonna sign Corey Perry to any sort of deal, you got to be like, look, dude, you got to be out by the playoffs. Like, you can play us.
He's the shitty version of Pat Maroon. Pat Maroon makes it and wins. Corey Perry makes it and loses.
That's true. Thinking about your point about the building around one line, that reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember this, might be showing my age, but the Ottawa Senators of old, when it was Alfredsson, Spezza, I think it was Heatley, Danny Heatley.
Yeah, Danny Heatley, yep.
They had one line. They had, what's his godforsaken name, Chris Neal, who took out our effing captain, if you remember that.
Yeah.
The big Sabre Senators brawl.
Oh, my gosh. Man, I didn't think that they spent that much money on. I mean, Danny Alfredsson, he was just that man, and then Jason Spezza. I didn't think they spent that much money on those 2 guys.
They might not have. I don't know what their contracts
Danny
look
Heatley's
like.
a legend, but geez Louise, yeah, I do remember that. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember Spezza being that good, but I also remember Spezza as a star. Like that's where when you say Jason Spezza, that's where my knowledge of him comes from.
How long ago was that? I'm showing my age. I'm about to be 30 here in May, but like
that was probably 0506.
I was gonna say, Tim, you say you're showing your age. How old are you, Tim? If you don't
I'm
mind
38.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
33,
Jesus,
so
you're old
like
as
you're
shit.
not like that far off.
thanks.
Like-
I remember the 4 Bills Super Bowl losses. That's how old I am.
Hey, there we go.
God. Yeah, I remember being in the old Odd in Buffalo. A couple memories of that. That was the old arena, but that was the type where you look down and like you feel like I'm going to fall and die. That's what's going to happen sitting up in the oranges. But yeah, no, I remember that. And then, yeah, the Four Falls of Buffalo on the ESPN 30 for 30 really hit home. But because, I was a little kid. Those are your first sports memories, are being a little kid. Like, we're going again. Oh, what's happening?
We're just a loser.
Yeah,
We're
we
losers.
lose all the time. Should I be a Dallas fan? No, I can't.
AZ, they've got a cup 99 thanks to Madonna and Brett Hull. Chill out.
Oh, you had to say his name. I was referring to the Cowboys, but
Oh,
Brett
okay,
Hull.
fair enough, for sure.
Brett
I
Hull.
know.
Okay, so in 2009, going back to Jason Spezza here, in 2009, the Ottawa Senators signed him to 7 years, $7 million a year, which in
That's chump
2009,
change.
now it is, but that's
Back then.
yeah, that's $1 million less than what what Robert Thomas is getting now. So it's like that just makes Robert Thomas's deal, I think, sound better. Although Jason Spezza did have years, I just had it up, of 90 points, which
Yeah, he was a unit. He was an absolute
Yeah,
weapon.
He was good.
he was 90
So-
points, 87 points, 92 points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so get this shit. This is pretty impressive. So he goes 90 points at 22. He goes 87 points at 23 years old. He goes 92 points at 24 years old. And then in the 08-09 season signs that big contract and then goes 73, 57, 57, 84.
He got paid.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, I'm good.
I looked it up. That big brawl game was in February of 2007. So that
Wow.
was, I was in college in my undergrad at the time.
Shit.
Oh, that reminds me. I don't know if this is going to be a bad note or a good note, but I looked up things that were popular the last time that the Buffalo Sabres made the playoffs. First off, I graduated high school, or was getting ready to, so that would have been 2011. Game of Thrones, I think, just came out.
Probably, yeah.
I think it was. Where'd it go? I had it looked up here. Yeah, Game of Thrones just came out. Here it is. Yeah, Game of Thrones premiered on HBO 1 week before the last playoff game. And absolute banger, Rebecca Black's Friday was a viral sensation. That's like what puts it like, oh, it's that far. Like that's
Oh God. What, iPhone was on like the iPhone 4 probably?
I know
Throwback.
the iPad was on the 2. The iPad 2 was just released. And Instagram was not even a year old.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, this is what you're referencing is what we've been living for the past like 3 weeks. Ever since we clinched, everyone's been posting these like, remember when? And
right?
MySpace top 8 was still around. Like, no, it wasn't. Stop it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was, I remember I was dating my wife at the time. That's how long ago it was. But, yeah, it was.
And now you have an 11-year-old.
Yeah. I have a 10-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. So
or 10-year-old, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It feels like he's 11,
right? Oh.
Yeah, time flies, but yeah, it was. I remember those parties in the plaza. I remember being downtown for those. The first and only playoff game I've been in the arena for was the last time the Sabres were in the playoffs against the Flyers. That was the only time. My buddy, I was in college in a place called Fredonia, and he texted me. He said, "Hey, if you can drive, I got a playoff ticket with your name on it." I was like, "All I got to do is drive." Now, the college was an hour away from downtown Buffalo, but still, I was like, "I'll drive an hour for a free ticket."
Yeah, for sure.
So I grabbed one of my best friends, Justin. I'm like, "Look, we're going. Let's go." got our jerseys on, and they lost, of course, but it was still fun.
Right.
That dude's a problem.
All right.
Brock Faber.
Yeah. Did he score? Is that why it's 1-1?
Yeah, just absolutely just
Faber.
walked the defense.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not upset by any means. Although I really need the Hurricanes to. Unfortunately, I have one bet that had Hurricanes -1.5, and they're going into overtime. So unless they score a 2-pointer, not sure how they're going to do that. The 1.5 looking hard.
That's another one where I don't know who to root for. I've hated the Senators for years, and the Hurricanes knocked us out. The year we had the cup lined up, and if it wasn't for a staph infection to Jay McKee and a couple other injuries,
Wow,
that was ours. And
That's a
then
name you
the
don't
Hurricanes beat us. Yeah.
we had
Jay
Jay
McKee.
McKee at some point.
Oh yeah.
He was a Blue.
I
Jesus,
forgot about that. Jeez.
I'm fucking dating myself. All right.
You guys have had a few of ours come through though. Didn't you have Ryan Miller for a hot minute?
That's St.
Yeah.
Louis Blues legend,
Blues-
Ryan Miller.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
numbers in our rafters. Watch yourself.
I actually went to his.
He was a
first
scout for
game.
us for a minute.
That was, dude. We cheered so loud for him, like in his first game, and then I just remember in the playoffs, we were playing Chicago, and Jonathan Toews just takes the blue line and just shoots a slap shot that should be easy to save, and it just goes through his 5-hole, and it's like, what did we give up for this guy? Like I thought this guy was good.
That's Miller's MO though.
Yeah.
He would make these insane saves. Miller time was a big thing. And that, like, our legendary commentator Rick Jenneret would go, Miller, and then there'd be these moments where that went in. How? It was at his chest. Did he get a hole? Like,
Right.
it was just unreal. And he was great. He's a better person even. He's done a lot of charity work in and around Buffalo and still does when he comes to town. And he's a fantastic human being. So nothing but positive. When he had to leave and he went to the Blues, I'm like, you know what? He didn't go to Ottawa. He didn't go to Boston. Of course he would. I mean, Boston ran him over, so he's not going to go there. But like, he didn't go to the Leafs. Like, I can live with him going to St. Louis, another blue and gold team, you know?
Right. Well, that's what the St. Louis Blues change. Like the Blues fan forum jerseys that we have are almost like more Buffalo colors.
Oh, geez.
Like, because the Blues are more like a light blue now. So I'm like, I got to get a new jersey, I think, because I look like I'm on Buffalo. So.
Hey, there's several websites in China that can hook you up with new jerseys.
Oh, for sure. I believe it. Yeah. And then they're only $10. It's fantastic.
Exactly right. That's why my closet's pretty full. Who's got the money for the real thing, right?
Right. All right. We both got to work tomorrow, and it's even later where you are.
Yes, it is.
So, Tim, thank you so much for coming on. I know I just kind of entered the group, and I even had someone comment and was like, "Are you a Buffalo fan or a Blues fan?" And I responded, I was like, "Well, sort of yes, I think is the answer to that." And so thank you for, I guess, trusting us and coming on and having a good conversation. Sometimes I get in those groups and I'm like, do people think I'm like scamming? Like, do they think that that's what I'm trying to do? So appreciate you coming on. We will have this posted on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple tomorrow morning. It will be 6 a.m. our time. So 7 a.m. your time is when I'll post it. So we'll get all that up. You can share it with all your friends. Tell them how cool you are because you were on a podcast. And then besides that, I mentioned Scooter's Coffee. If you're in the Midwest, if you're anywhere, go ahead and check out Imprint Labs or Hughes Custom Design, as they have a thing called shipping, and it is fantastic. So you can buy whatever you want from them. Besides that, let's go NHL playoffs, because this has been so fun watching like 4 games a day. And then Tim, give me a big either let's go Buffalo or whatever, Sabres on the warpath, whatever you want to, and we'll get out of here.
Sabres on the warpath. Ooh, ah.
All right, perfect. All right, see you, everybody.